viewers. This is David joining us today on the One Podcast Question. Before we get started, would you like to introduce yourself, David, and what made you decide to create a coaching business?
Say my own story because I had a really unhappy relationship. I grew up, so like I help men find the right girlfriend and the right life partner for them, right? I grew up not really knowing how to speak to women. I was extroverted, but not really confident. Like a lot of my clients are shy. Some of them are extroverted, but I was extroverted, but not really confident. So for me, the challenge was I always saw the cool guys, the cool guys, and it was like easy going for them. Like they knew how to speak with women, they knew how to move things forward, and women always responded really well to them. Even though I was extroverted, I was the kind of guy, if you brought me to a party, let's say you're the host and you invite me to a party, right? And I come to the party and I knock on the door or I ring the bell, you open the door and I'm like, hey, Craig, cool, happy to see you. But you're the only person I know. Now you as a host, you get called away. Somebody else calls you over. It's like, okay, cool. Okay, Travis, come over here. And then you're gone. And I'm like, oh shit, here I'm by myself in this new party. Who am I going to speak to? I hope nobody sees me being here by myself. That social pressure. Like I didn't even know when I saw these cool guys, right, talking to women, that could even be part of my reality. I didn't know that it's simply a learnable skill set like driving a car. I was like, I'm just not the kind of guy. And so like I had a few girlfriends and I had all the pain that came with it. It wasn't relationships that I really chose to be in. And then I ended up in a longer term relationship with a lady. She was like significantly older than me. She was like around 7 or 8 years older. And we even ended up getting married after like a 4-year relationship. But that wasn't so much because I really wanted that. Now, obviously I own my responsibility 100%, but it was for me, from my subjective point of view, it was like, I don't want to lose you. I don't want to lose her. So I didn't even allow myself to question. She suggested this idea of getting married, and I didn't even allow myself to question, should I do that? Should I not do that? Friends of mine asked me, family members were like, oh, is that a good idea? It's like, no, it's fine. It's okay. Don't even talk to me about it. It's perfectly fine. And I suffered a ton throughout the end of the relationship. She suffered a ton because there was a lack of compatibility. And then afterwards, what happened was briefly after that, I was deeply unhappy. I was suffering tremendously emotionally. And I ended up meeting my mentor who would introduce me to the world of dating. And I realized, wow, I can learn that. I can go and learn how to speak to a lady. I can go and learn how to speak to a girl. And I can introduce myself and then maybe I remember the first night that I spoke to a woman in a club and I got her phone number. I was like, what? It blew my mind. I remember walking along the river here in Dublin. I believe after the first night it was where I got the first kiss. Like we spoke for 20 minutes and then we kissed. I was like, that's awesome. Complete explosion. Like my life changed in that moment so much. And then just like I had a lot of experiences really dove in that over the coming years. And then I realized pretty soon I want to help other people as well. And then I started helping friends. And then we grew an international coaching business. And now we're helping people worldwide. Like we're helping men worldwide. And it's just amazing because we have this process. We developed this process, very simple process, right? Simple but super effective process that we take men through who are willing to take action. And within a matter of months, weeks and months, they find like girlfriends and life partners. It's amazing. You take men who are usually our clients. They're software developers, computer scientists, engineers, medical background, people who are really intelligent, right? Men who are really smart, but they just haven't learned. They have trouble communicating with women. It's just a communication thing, and we help them with the communication thing. And then, yeah,
that's awesome. Back on that, so you were a little bit introverted growing up, you'd say?
No, extroverted, but not confident. I was always extroverted. I was always extroverted. I always love being with people. It energizes me so much. The difference between introverts and extroverts, right? People who are introverted, they like more alone. We all need social contact. We all crave that. But like I get so much energy from being with people. I love that. But I wasn't confident. So I was, people who are loud, obnoxiously loud, but you can see they're just trying to cover up some insecurities. Yeah, that was me.
Yep. There you go. Do you mind mentioning your mentor as well? It seems like he had a pretty meaningful impact as well.
Yeah, that was a friend of mine. I'm not going to mention his name. That was a close friend of mine. Yeah, because he's not a public figure, right? So he's not a public figure, but that was a close friend of mine. Yeah.
That's awesome, mate. Well, how about we get to the one main question? Let's do it. What's your advice for a guy wanting to find his ideal woman per se, and how can you sustain the relationship as well? Because, you know, you find nowadays people date for a few months or a year and they sort of get over each other, or it's just because they're not the right match. I want to hear your thoughts on this.
The biggest thing is you have to be willing to take action. You have to be open-minded to learning a new skill set, because it's a new skill set. It's just a learnable skill set. You can learn that. There's a lot of information out there. The most important thing is you can learn it. It's a learnable skill set. Get rid of your excuses. Stop making excuses. Like most men, 80% of men are not born playboys. Okay. Most of those men, we have to learn it. Like I had to go through the process of learning it. You can learn it. That's the most important thing. Understand that even though you may be introverted, being introverted has nothing to do with being shy. Being introverted is a personality trait you're born with, as opposed to extroversion, introversion tendencies. But being shy is a habit. You can train yourself out of that. Go out there, meet a lot of women, improve your communication skills. And like a really practical piece of advice is don't try to be so logical, try to be more fun, because in a business context, we're trying to be very logical. Be fun. The more you can be socially calibrated and respectful, right? But be fun, try to be more fun and silly. That's how you bring emotions, and that's how you can be successful when it comes to dating. And how can you sustain the relationship? I believe it's all about compatibility. If you have a lot of options available, you can find a woman who you have a high degree of compatibility with, and you don't even have to put in that much effort to sustain the relationship. Now, obviously, you're going to have to put in some work, but most people who talk about having to make a compromise in relationships, they're in relationships with women they shouldn't be in. They're in relationships with women they shouldn't be in. If you're in a relationship that's structurally broken, then you're going to have to make a lot of compromises. So find somebody who you have a 95% degree compatibility with, and the amount of compromise you have to make is going to be really, really small. And the work you're going to have to do in the back end to sustain the relationship is going to be really small. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's some awesome advice, Dave. That is awesome. I think the viewers are going to enjoy listening to this. Well, thanks for joining the podcast. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I wish you all the best in your future endeavors as well.